Hey, welcome to Well Folk Revival. My name is Sarah Stutzman, and today we are going to make elderberry syrup. In our home, we use a lot of natural wellness preventative products. Elderberry is one of those. Quick story, when our oldest was just about a year old, even before that, I went back to teaching. I was a first grade teacher, elementary teacher, and I wanted her to stay well. I was really worried about her being in childcare. It was just 2 days a week. It was a small childcare, but I was still worried about her immune system, and I wanted to keep her as healthy as possible. So I went down to the local health food store. I was asking all the ways to support her immune system. Now, mind you, this is way before our journey with Young Living essential oils. And the store clerk was super helpful and gave me something called sambucus. Now, I had no clue what that was back 9 years ago? I didn't know that it was elderberries. So fast forward just a couple years ago, we planted our first elderberry bushes on our property. We have 3 elderberry bushes, 2 of them bloom like crazy. I think we got a harvest off of them the second year. So if you're thinking about natural wellness products in your own home, elderberries are something you can grow in your backyard. You can put 2 bushes in and get a bumper crop every single year. So we harvest our elderberries. We freeze them, we cut them. Usually August is when they are in full bloom. And so we cut them off the bush. I freeze them in bags, and then at the end of summer, probably beginning of September, once they're frozen and we have harvested them all, I take them out of the bags, throw them all in a big cooler, and I pop all those berries off. It's so much easier to do it that way than try to get them off when they're juicy, and it's just a mess. So I scoop them up out of the cooler and I freeze them in big mason jars in our freezer. And so when we're ready, we'll make a big batch of elderberry syrup that we take every single day because it helps prevent getting sick in the wintertime, primarily from the flu. And so you can do research on that. I have a blog post on my website, wellfolkrevival.com, all about elderberry syrup, all about natural ways that we help our family stay well through the winter. There's a great article on there on all the ways that elderberry can help you stay above the wellness line and keep from getting sick in the winter. So let's make this. So what you need is elderberries. You can use fresh, frozen, or you can get them dried right off of Amazon. That's how most people make them. For today, I'm going to use our elderberries. So you're going to need elderberries. I love to infuse mine with some spices to make it like a chai flavored elderberry. It's one of our favorite things. So I was making chai tea and herbal chai tea at the same time I was making elderberry syrup in my kitchen. And I thought, why not just add the clove and the cardamom and the anise? And my house smelled amazing. And so it's just been a hit ever since. So you're going to need some spices like cinnamon sticks, cardamom pods, peppercorns, clove buds, and anise seeds. I also like to throw in some fresh ginger too. For this purpose, I don't have fresh ginger. I just used it up. So I'm going to add some ginger essential oil right at the end. Now, mind you, we use just Young Living essential oils. We use their Vitality line to flavor things to cook with because they are the highest grade essential oils. And so we can consume them safely. All right, let's get to making. So I'm going to take my fresh elderberries. Now, they're not so frozen anymore. So when you're using fresh, it's about 1.5 cups. You don't have to be super exact. Elderberries on their own don't taste very good. They're not sweet, and they're actually considered poisonous if you consume too many of them. So that's why you want to boil them off just to get the medicinal properties from them. And you only take about 1 tablespoon a day, or up to 3 tablespoons if you are feeling like you're coming down with something. So I'm going to add another about 1/2 cup to to 1/3. Now, this is one batch. When we make elderberry syrup in our house, we make a huge batch because there's 5 of us and we go through it really fast. So I got my elderberries and now I'm going to add my water. So it's about 3 1/4 cups of water. You want to use really good purified water. All right, so that's about 3 1/2. Pour that on top. And then you can add your spices. So 2 sticks of cinnamon, about 5 peppercorns, give or take a few. Same for the clove buds, about 5 or 6. As you can see, I don't measure. And about 2 or 3 star anise. And again, all these spices are organic. You want to use the best ingredients for your body. You don't want chemicals bogging your system down when you're trying to pull it up above the wellness line. And then the cardamom pods. I have a few in my mortar and pestle. You just want to crack them open to get the seeds out. And then I'm going to throw that all in here. I'm going to let that simmer for about 2 to 3 hours. You'll start to see it reducing. You'll start to see that line where the water is going down. You just want to cook all those elderberries. You want to get all that juice out, all the wonderful properties of it. Your house is going to smell amazing. So I like to bring it to a boil and then I shut it down. Just let it simmer on low, 2 to 3 hours. Some people like to cook this in an Instapot. You can definitely do that. I just like when I'm home in my kitchen, the aroma, just letting something simmer on the stove smells amazing. If you don't have time to do that, an Instapot or a crock pot works well too. So I have some already cooled, ready for the next step. Okay, so I have a batch here ready to go, ready to be bottled up. And so you can see that the line that I started with, you can see where the water was when I originally started, and you can see how it has cooked down considerably. Now we get to strain all of this off. So you need a sieve and a bowl. Just pour it right through the sieve, catch all those elderberries and all those spices. The chickens are gonna love this. Nothing goes to waste. And I think we'll have healthy chickens, right? Okay, and now you can use a spoon. I just like to use my potato masher just to mash the remaining juice out of those elderberries. You don't want to leave any go to waste. Okay, now the fun part comes. So this is where we add our raw honey. So you want to add some raw honey. Raw honey has a lot of amazing immune supporting properties as well, antimicrobial, antiviral. So find a local beekeeper that you can source raw honey in your area. I like to add about 1/2 cup to a cup. I don't like it super sweet because sugar, yes, honey is good for you, but sugar will compromise your immune system. So you don't want to be eating tons of sweet things when you're trying to stay well. So I add this is probably about 1/2 cup of raw honey. Actually, I'm going to do one thing before we do that. I'm going to add my oils into this so that the oils are incorporated so they don't rest on top. So I'm going to add a drop of ginger because remember, I did not add fresh ginger at the beginning. So I'm going to add my ginger now. Again, because this is a chai flavored elderberry syrup. And then I'm going to add some thieves. Thieves has cinnamon, clove, rosemary, eucalyptus, some amazing immune boosting properties in this essential oil. This one we do not winter without, so we add it to our elderberry syrup. So I'm going to add about 5 drops. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then I'm going to add some lemon because lemon is an amazing lymphatic supporting oil, meaning it helps your lymph system to move and it moves all that mucus out. It helps it to function properly. So I'm going to add some lemon. It also busts through any kind of gunk that might be resting in your cells, on your cell receptor sites. So I'm going to add 5 drops of lemon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm going to mix this up. I'm going to stir that all in there. That way it can fully incorporate into the elderberry syrup. And you know, when I first started making elderberry syrup, I was like, well, it's not really syrupy. I thought it was supposed to be syrupy. It's not really thick and syrupy like you would, you know, be used to. It's definitely more watery, but when you add your honey, it is going to get a little thicker. So you add your honey and your oils after it has cooled because you don't want to distort the properties of the elderberry. You don't want to distort the properties of the honey, the raw honey, or the oils. So you put all that goodness in there. And like I said, elderberries aren't sweet, so you're adding that honey just to sweeten it up so your kids will actually take it. My kids love it. Trick, mamas. If you're making this for yourself, or daddies, if you're making this for yourself, you can cut back on the honey and you can add a really good vodka. You can add a really good whiskey as well. It'll help with the shelf life in the fridge because this will have to be consumed pretty quickly if you don't add the vodka or the whiskey. I love adding a little bit of whiskey to it. Brooke says I'm not allowed to give that to the kids, but what did our grandparents do, right? Like, I don't know. And you're only taking a tablespoon. It's just like cough syrup, just like cough medicine, but better. So you whisk all that honey in, get it all incorporated. You can store it in bottles. You can store it in mason jars. I like to just put it in a mason jar. Make sure you label it too. So we drink our elderberry syrup with our Ningxia Red. I'm going to put it in this one too. And I did not label it. And we have fermented beets in the fridge. And so Hannah was in charge of getting the elderberry syrup out and the Ningxia Red to make our morning drink. And she poured the Ningxia and she poured beet juice into the cup instead of elderberry and Ningxia. That was pretty tasty. So this is how we drink it. Every single morning, the girls will get a shot of Ningxia Red. This is a high antioxidant drink made with the Ningxia wolfberry, highest antioxidant fruit you can find. So it's like a fruit puree infused with essential oils that are going to boost your immune system, boost your memory, help with eyesight, great for energy and cognitive function. So we drink 2 ounces of this every single day, and then we top it with a little bit of elderberry syrup. So it's going to help immune system support like way better than just taking one or the other. So 2 ounces of this. And then, because this one's cold, I'm going to top this off with about a tablespoon of elderberry. Cheers. Thanks guys for watching. You can find this recipe on wellfolkrevival.com along with some excellent information on elderberries and their amazing properties. If you liked this video, subscribe. Keep on watching. If you have questions, you can email me at sarah@wellfolkrevival.com. Catch us on Instagram, Facebook. Bye guys.